Do cops really need to be educated? I take on the perspective that they know what they're doing. And for you to have to think that you have to memorize case laws, court studies, solutions, dissolutions, whatever the judge's opinions, wherever they make those remarks and citations and the Constitution, of course. Do we really have to cite all this stuff to the cops? I think it's overwork. I think it's going a little above and beyond what's necessary. It really doesn't seem to matter with cops anyway so much what you know. What all it does, it prompts them to ask, "Where'd you get your law degree?" So, talking about any reference to any court cases, constitutional stuff, it just prompts them to call you a street lawyer. Do you really want to waste your time just with all those citations and stuff just to end up being called a street lawyer? It seems like a waste to me. I prefer just to start out assuming they know what they're doing already, and when they start doing stuff that does seem against the law, primarily violating my Fourth Amendment rights, or just making accusations like, "Oh, we think that you were sleeping in a park last night. We don't have any evidence. It's just some guy called in and it's a suspicious behavior. That's it. Let's see some ID." Instead of me saying, "Oh, you're violating my Fourth Amendment rights," I just tell them they don't know the law. Do what you gotta do. You don't know the law. That's where I'm standing. Let me see your ID. But then again, I kind of want to demand their ID on the grounds. I want to at least make it clear to them that the law I feel that they're violating is the Fourth Amendment. That's where I would mention a law. As soon as they want to search and seize me and my articles, that's a Fourth Amendment violation. I need to identify who they are, because that's criminal. But for me to talk about maritime law and common law and cite passages from whatever dictations are out there, the maritime law, I don't know, article, the Emancipation Proclamation, no, the Magna Carta, something. I'll just start citing all these old laws in the books. This is stuff for the sovereign citizen. They love citing all the old stuff, all the original stuff, and I should be reading that book more. The American Revolution, all the paperwork, the papers that were passed between people up until the Revolution time. There was a lot of people talking, and you saw all kinds of different perspectives. One of the perspectives was sovereign citizens. They go back well before the American Revolution. And they were called crazy then too, thinking that they could start their own rules and expect people to follow them just because they demand that people follow their rules. You need an army. That's the thing, It's like you could fight the cops, but you don't have your own army. These guys have radios. They can call backup. They could reach the mayor. The mayor can call in the National Guard and call in the army. I mean, they got all that. That's the part of their radio network. What radio network do you have? YouTube? It's like sometimes you see on social media the people are effectively gather. That's pretty neat too, how that works. How the people can gather up others for flash mobs, for flash First Amendment rights. You could do that. People can do that. We're getting better at that. The world is getting flatter, and it's becoming more common that regular people are able to gather up armies for their personal armies. It's kind of funny in the past thinking about it, but it's kind of happening. But that just prompts the government to make more laws to take away our gun rights. I saw this video on the Libertarian Chronicles on Instagram. I think some 16-year-old, I think he said his age was, showed a video of the cops taking guns out of a neighborhood, going house to house in America. And I was like, where is this? And he's like, I don't know. He just posted the video. He reposted, I guess. It's coming down to might. It's coming down to powers fighting each other, because this whole citing of laws and stuff, it just, be aware of them, use them in the background, but sitting there trying to tell the cop, oh, you're violating my Fifth Amendment rights, trying to make me talk, and my Fourth Amendment, trying to take my stuff, and then this ruling. What about Miranda rights and the U.S. versus such and such Gauss, or I don't know. There's this one that people keep on. Is this a stop and ID state? It's just like, it all comes down to just telling the cop that he doesn't know the law. Okay, that's what you're trying to tell the cop. You just might as well just instead of trying to memorize all this mumbo jumbo, just tell the cop you don't know the law, and you don't have to sit there and prove what the law is, because he's the accuser, and in fact, but then you're turning around accusing him of violating the law by violating your rights. And it's simple. All they need to do is violate one, and then they ask for ID. Okay, let's see your ID too. You're both. This is interesting how it works too, because the cop kind of has to break the law to enforce the law in a lot of ways. The cop, by trying to get you to talk, violating your First Amendment rights, your Fourth Amendment, even second, if you're running around with a gun, they're breaking the law to enforce the law. So it goes back and forth. But I mean, I say take the headache out of trying to cite all these case law. I'm still trying to think of. I forget them all. Godfrey, or U.S. states, Idaho versus Godfrey. They're interesting. They're ones that you want to keep in the back burner, but to recite them like they're Bible verses, it just becomes like a hiccup. You just don't really. You just do it and you don't think about it. It's like kids reciting Bible verses and not really knowing the meaning of those. Cops have to know this stuff anyway, so let them, if they want to make a false charge, that's all the better for your case. If they want to destroy your video, that's something. I haven't even come up with the best solution for that yet, because I still am just using my iPod running around, and if I have an interaction, all I have is my iPod still. I'm not paying for any services, so I can go live. I'd be making a lot more live videos just for the fun of it, if that was the case, if I did have the money to pay for that. Instead, I've been thinking of a voice recorder, but I haven't done it yet, because these cop interactions are so rare for me. But when they do happen, they could be I don't want to say traumatic. They could be just sudden and explosive when they happen. They happen in a short period of time and unexpectedly, especially when they wake you up at 3 a.m. or something, telling you parked in the wrong spot. You shouldn't be car camping. But I'm not going to sit there. I don't think I've done it. I've kind of done it with saying you violated my Fourth Amendment rights. Let me see your ID. But I'm not sitting there citing all these case laws and stuff. There's something to bring forth in the courtroom, in a dissertation or whatever. When I had that arrest over not showing obstruction of justice in Idaho from the Horseshoe Bend arrest. The lawyer had like 6 pages. I had a free lawyer. Let the state pay for their follies. And he wrote like 5 pages, and he cited like 20 cases in this. You know, you want to cite 20 cases to the cop on the street? You don't, I mean, if you're that smart, I guess, I mean, but I say keep it simple, keep a theme, because that's what lawyers like to do if you study lawyering, just to get a nice Mickey Mouse book on lawyering, a nice some stories on how lawyers conduct themselves, get little tips and tricks. You'll see that it seems like the successful ones keep a theme rather than trying to cite all this and quash every concern the cop has and talk about terrorism and strife in the world and all this. Just keep a simple theme. What's the problem? What's the crime? Those are simple enough. And you know, what are you going to do about it or something? And let that play out.